All right, this hit right here that we're gonna do, this is kind of like a step-by-step process of making a grilled cheese. Now, I've been a professional chef and I've worked in countless restaurants. Well, I've worked in several restaurants. This is also the kind of thing that defines a marriage, in my opinion, because my wife and I, we have fundamental different points of view on how to make a grilled cheese. Although me being the only person who's ever been paid to make grilled cheeses. So, with that said, first I'll demonstrate my wife's version, all right? She insists that the only way to make a grilled cheese is to soften the butter and put it on the bread, add your cheese. Now I add a lot of cheese, I'm not gonna lie. I like my cheese to be oozing out of my grilled cheese. That may explain my weight problem, you know, if you were to see me. That's why the vast majority of my videos are faceless, because really don't like how I look on camera. That shit about it adds 10 pounds or whatever. I would say easy. And then for those of you out there that are gonna look at me use this metal spatula right here, this nice all-clad metal spatula in this pan is not a non-stick pan, okay? This pan is a carbon steel pan. It's more or less indestructible, you know? It's kind of like, almost like cast iron, except nothing really sticks to it. And you wash it almost the same way that you would cast iron. You pretty much just rinse it and wipe it out. You don't run it through the dishwasher because it will rust. But anyway, you can see here, we got this one going. Pan's hot right now, smoking. We'll flip it over. And look, that's beautiful color. I mean, I can't hate on her process and the way that she does it, you know? It really does create a good looking sort of grilled cheese. But as I alluded to in the beginning, that I've worked in restaurants where you get paid to make grilled cheeses. And most of the time in those, you know, time is of the essence. So as we work our way through here, I'm gonna show you the process of the way I do mine. All right, so, got the heat's probably on about a medium right now. Flip it back over. Yeah, so this side's a little bit light. I'm gonna go ahead, flip it back. I like to press it down a little bit. Kind of helps with the cheese melting. Might turn the heat up just a hair right now. And then we're gonna bring it over there to our board. And as they finish, we're gonna compare the three of them. I also have my nice made-in weight. Sometimes when I'm doing these, I just put that on top there. I feel like adding that, you know, increased weight on top of it will help it cook better, you know, a little more evenly. All right, so this one's starting to ooze a little bit. Flip it over, yeah, you can see, look at the color on that side. So we're gonna go ahead and put the weight on this side. Probably gonna let it go for about 10 or 12 more seconds or so. And then I'm gonna move this camera a little closer so that you can see. So yeah, you can see what's happening there. All right, I'm happy. You can see the cheese oozing out of that. So that's my wife's version of a grilled cheese. Nothing wrong with it, you know. Here's how I learned how to do a grilled cheese, and it's how I did it most of the time in my life. I take the butter and add it to the pan first. Get it to melt down a little bit. And then I don't even mind putting my piece of bread right on top of the butter as it's melting. And then I take my second piece of bread here, right? Piece of bread, and the hell with it. Let's go with the weight from go, all right? Now, while this one cooks for a minute, I'm gonna show you, one time I worked in a restaurant, and I went into the restaurant. It was, you know, some like pizza shop, whatever. I was kind of doing it, if you will, as a hobby. But, you know, a grilled cheese came through on the ticket, and I was like, oh, I can make a grilled cheese, no worries. I was basically in training at the time. And I said, where's the butter? And they were like, the what? And I said, the butter. And they said, what do you need butter for? I said, well, I just got an order for a grilled cheese. Let me pause that for a second. Bring you back over here so you can see. We had that side weighted down. Now we're gonna go ahead. Let's flip this over and see what it looks like. Now look at that color. I don't know. If you ask me, so this is how I do it. I flip it over, I add some more butter to the pan, get it melting, and then put that back in. Look at the color on that. Can you go wrong? I think mine looks better than hers, but whatever. We'll look at all three when we're done. So anyway, back to the restaurant story. The lady that's showing me what I'm doing says, "Oh, we don't use butter here. We use mayonnaise." And I'm like, "Mayonnaise? What sort of fucking black magic is that you're making a grilled cheese with mayonnaise?" Up until that point, I had never heard of that in my life. But as I did a little research, I found out it's actually quite common. So we're going to make one now with mayonnaise, the way that they showed me how to do it, and we're going to compare that against the two that we made. All right, let's flip this over. A little more on this one, but this one's looking good. Crush it down. So so you can see here, I got the Hellmann's mayonnaise, because in my opinion, I mean, Hellmann's is the best mayonnaise out there. I don't really care how humanely their eggs are harvested for it, you know what I mean? My chickens don't need to be running around open range in a field to make delicious mayonnaise, but that's just me. All right, I like it. Let's look at the color of the one I made. So we're gonna go ahead and put this one down right there. And lastly, let's throw this crazy one on there, the mayonnaise one. I mean, I gotta be honest, it sizzles the same way. We'll get our 3 slices of cheese on it. Only thing I'm gonna do differently is I'm not gonna weight this one yet, because I don't want to get mayonnaise all over my maiden weight, you know. So, but let's keep an eye on that for a second, right? I mean, you know, it looks.
Was that for me?
Mayonnaise, basically, it's just eggs and oil. So, I'm sure it's the oil that helps make the grilled cheese. Sorry, I had to run over to my walk-in AK refrigerator to put away the mayonnaise. All right, so I'm gonna turn this heat up a hair, right? And let's flip it over and see what this looks like. You know, be honest with you, I've done this in restaurants. It's the first time I ever made a mayonnaise-based grilled cheese in my house. And you know, it's certainly got some decent color to it, but I feel like you can see where the eggs cooked in it, you know? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and weight it now, because I think it's important to get it weighted down so that the 3 slices of cheese melt good. So let's let it go for, you know, 2-3 minutes, or no, I'm sorry, another 30 seconds or so on this side. And then we'll flip it over. I got that heat up to about a medium. All right, and I'm gonna bring you guys over here so you can see, right here's our, my wooden cutting board. Again, for those of you that watch a lot of my videos, I get a lot of hate for my plastic cutting boards. I don't know what everybody's beef is with a plastic cutting board, but they're convenient as hell, you know? Do I have wood cutting boards? Yeah, I have 6 wood cutting boards, you know? That I feel like I can wash and run through the dishwasher and I don't have to worry about the bacteria, you know? I just made a Cuban sandwich in the last video that I haven't released yet, but you'll see it. But let's go ahead and cut the first one that we made while we're waiting for it to finish. Oh, that's beautiful. Nice layer, nice thick layer of cheese. I like it. Let me flip this over again. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. That's the mayonnaise-based one. A little dark on the edges, but I don't mind that, you know? It's beautiful. I mean, if I was sitting down to eat in a restaurant and you brought this thing over to me, I don't really know that I could tell the difference that this was a grilled cheese made with mayonnaise, you know? I know this is pretty common in other, you know, in restaurants and whatnot, but I don't know. I'm not unhappy with it, I'll tell you that. Let's bring it over here, put it down next to our other grilled cheese right here. This is the middle one that we made. This was the version that I made. I just put the butter in the pan and melted it. And I mean, it looks pretty much identical to that one, you know? I like it. And then finally, this is the one that just came out. And it's significantly hotter right now. So you can see the cheese melt a little bit, but I mean, it's beautiful. If you ask me, like, that's great. All right, that's it for Chef Hazu. Thanks for checking in and watching. Let me know what you think.